Good morning, folks. I'm actually a bit nervous because this is my first video. So, as you can see, I'm actually driving. I'm on my way to work because this is the only time of the day that I actually have to make videos and other stuff. So, and also a long commute alone can be a bit lonely. So I decided to make this video while I have the time. So let's start with who am I, okay? My name doesn't really matter, but I am I consider myself to be quite an international person because of my mixed background. And I am also I don't like this word, but I have to use it. I'm a polyglot. What is a polyglot? A polyglot is someone who can speak many languages. I mean speak many languages, not know many languages. There are nuances, but I will not go into them. And as for what languages do I speak, let's save it for another time. So, this is one of these thing that you'll be seeing me do is driving to work, and all my video will be something like this. So if you see me getting a bit distracted, like right now, or just acting a bit strange in general, that is because I'm trying to get to work in one piece. So sorry about that. Okay, back to the main part of the video. But before that, something to let you know, I'm just doing it for fun. It's a hobby, and again, I just want to do something during my way to work. So I'll be talking about languages, I'll be talking about culture, I'll be talking about just stuff in general, right? I'll be talking about music. So although this is my first video and start talking about learning languages, please do not expect me to always stick to just learning languages. But since I'm very passionate about learning languages in general, so you'll be seeing a lot of videos or contents from me about these things. One more thing, since this is my first video, if you stick through all the way until the end, I actually have a surprise for you. I will reveal to you the secret to actually become fluent in any language, no matter how difficult it is you want, within 3 weeks. Alright? There is no link in the description, don't go look for it, but I will tell you the secrets. Okay, now, where was I? Languages. So, I know there are a lot of debates and thoughts on what do you mean by being fluent in a language, or what do you mean by you know a language, what do you mean by you speak a language. But for me, it's quite simple. When I say I speak a language, it means I speak the blood language. I can sit and talk anytime without having to any problems or any issues. But I will be there was a police there looking at me talking to the video. Sorry, I digressed. So when I say what knowing the language mean is that I know the language, right? The languages that I say I know, I can actually sit and talk to anyone that speaks that language, about almost anything except something like extremely, extremely technical that I do not have the base knowledge of, but that's not a language issue anymore. So there's that. So when I say I know languages, I mean that, all right? Not like, I know how to greet, or I learned a few things from some phrase book 5 years ago, or I know how to read some script, or I know how to pronounce some difficult words, not like that. So what I want to know from all of you, any of you, if any of you are watching, is why do you learn a language? I mean, these days, especially with AIs and a lot of things, what's the point of it, right? But people are still learning a lot of languages, so I want to know, what's your reason of learning languages? I mean, I will share mine, but I want to know yours too, These days and age, especially when you don't have much time, when you have a lot of distraction, a lot of things, many of you still choose to, learn a new language, pick a new language up, right? I'm actually very curious about that. So yeah, let me know, all right? So as for me, it's very simple. I like to learn languages that I like the sounds of. If it sounds good in my ears, I like to learn that. If it doesn't sound good in my ear, I don't learn that. But when I say if it doesn't sound good in my ear, of course, I do not mean that the language is bad or anything. It's just that I just don't like the sound. I just prefer the sound of another language over that. So, for example, you will not be seeing me learning languages like, Chinese Mandarin or Cantonese or things like that, because I just don't really fancy the sounds of the language. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the languages. I know a lot of people that learn these languages, and I respect them a lot, because the language is not easy. And also, there's a huge histories that comes with these languages. So in general, I really admire people that pick up these languages, the difficult ones. But as for myself, I just simply do not like how the language sounds, so I will not be learning these languages. An example of the kind of languages that I like the sound of would be, for example, Icelandic. That's a good example. It's a very difficult language, probably quite useless to learn because a very small amount of people learn it. It's one of those languages that you have to learn out of pure passion, unless you are living in the country or migrating to the country. But Icelandic is one of those country with one of those languages that have these very interesting sounds and tones and alphabets. When I listen to someone speak Icelandic, I feel like, wow, that sounds cool. I want to be able to say those things, And also when I read the Icelandic text, I feel like, oh, this feels really cool to read. I look for those kind of, very arbitrary, superficial feelings when I learn languages. Of course, it's not just, how it sounds. Another thing I look for in a language that I want to learn is what I like about the language itself. Is it culture? Of course, apart from how it sounds, right? Is it culture? Is it, the movies, or just a lot of things, like the utility? I mean, there has to be some kind of utility, at least for now. I do dream of one day where I get to start learning languages without thinking about its utility. That's my dream. I know this one guy on YouTube, what's his name? Kaufman, I think. Yeah, I'm always very jealous of him because, he's just learning different language all the time, and I want to do that. That's my goal. That's my dream, But as of now, with life and responsibility and a lot of things, I can't afford to do that yet. So I gotta wait a bit on that. But yeah, those are, I would say reasons, or reason, depending on how we see it, of why I pick up a language. I want to know what's yours, what drives you. If you can share with me, that would be great. It's just in general, knowing why people do certain things that you particularly are passionate about, helps you find meanings and also help you find motivations in the things that you're doing. Because learning language can be a very tough and long journey, especially if you want to be, quite good with the language. And yeah, it's just a never-ending story. So anyway, well, thank you for listening to me rambling on my first video already. So as promised, I said I would reveal the secret to the becoming fluent in any languages, no matter how difficult it is, or they are, in 3 weeks. And the secret is nothing. There is no such thing. And I'm pretty sure most people that have been learning languages already know this. It's a long, tedious journey, but it's very rewarding. And you know, I would say when you're learning languages, if you're lucky, you will you will get yourself stuck in this cycle of, almost like a spiral of despair, where you realize that you are never good enough, and you will just keep finding new things to learn if you're lucky. But on the other hand, if you're not lucky, you probably never even get to that stage, because you're just looking for the best way to learn. So what I would say is that if you want to learn a language, if you realize that you really like a language, just pick up a textbook or something and start learning. There's no point of looking for the best way or the most optimum way to do it. So yeah, and there's nothing you can master in 3 weeks. You can't even get a second date within the third week. So yeah, all right. Thank you for sticking with me. I will be doing this, this kind of video every day. And also, just so you know, it will not be perfect, because I'm driving, I'm talking, just making sure the police don't, stop me, because I'm kind of holding my phone in front of me. So, just so you know, everything in every videos I make, they are all very DIY, they are very unscripted, and they're all one take. So anyway, thank you for sticking with me. If you watch until the end, I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's all for today from me. So yeah, go away, bye.